Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. In my videos, I use both Vedic and traditional Western techniques with tropical astrology, not sidereal astrology. I also use the traditional system of whole sign astrology for my analysis. You can use this video to the best of your advantage by listening to the introduction to understand what the week holds for you, and then going to the timestamps for your sun, moon, and rising sign to get a more personalized forecast for the week ahead. Astrology is not designed to scare you. It's designed to give you information so that you know what the good and the challenging energies in the week ahead will be, and you can therefore consciously work with them to the best of your advantage. Remember, knowledge is power. Now, there are scammers about, and so if you should receive a message from me on any platform requesting your money for a reading, know that it is a scam. Report them immediately. And now settle in and let's see what the astral skies have in store for the week ahead. Well, hello everybody and welcome to this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to empower you through the tool of astrology, looking at what's happening in the astral skies from the 13th of May through to the 25th of May. So thank you for joining me. Don't forget, my friends, to like, share and subscribe to this video and this channel in order to go into the draw to win a solar return report for May. Leave a comment in the comment section to let me know you've done it, and I'll pick one of the comments to be the winner. You'll get an astro report for the year ahead, looking at what's coming up for you for free. I give one away every month. So exciting, but you've got to be in it to win it. So you need to like, share and subscribe. This week's discussion question for those who like to chat with others in the comments and create community. My question for this week is, in what way did the Mercury retrograde period that we've just had redirect your life? In what way has Mercury retrograde changed your life? Now, I have to mention or explain how it's affected my life. Taurus, where Mercury has been retrograding, is my third house of small business. And during this Mercury retrograde period, I have found so many new and exciting ways to build and grow my business, both online and offline. And now that Mercury is turning direct, it's time for me to take action and start implementing those particular things. So what about you? How did Mercury impact your life, and in what area of your life did Mercury shine a light? We're going to be talking about Mercury retrograde briefly in a second, but this week's astro weather is very, very special because we're going to be focusing, the breakdown for all signs is going to be focusing on Jupiter. I love talking about Jupiter. He is a very precious planet. We all love the great benefic, so stick with me for that. But first of all, this week, on the 13th of May, we've got a trine between Saturn, down here in Pisces, making a trine up here to Venus in Cancer. How lovely. This is a beautiful, beautiful trine. And it's not often that we see Venus and Saturn getting all lovey-dovey with each other. This is at 6 degrees of the two water signs. But today is the day. They do get lovey-dovey with one another twice a year, making this beautiful trine. And that's what we're looking at. So it's a good day, this particular day, the 13th, for committing to a partner for the long term. Saturn brings long-term commitment. Venus is about love and relationships. Now, if you're already in a partnership, this is a good day for feeling more solid with your existing partnership, more safe and secure and grounded with your existing partnership. It's also a great energy for setting in place some long-range financial goals or investments, especially any investments that are of the conservative, low-risk type, the type of investments where, they're a sure bet. So that's another energy. If you're looking at your budget, if you're looking at investments, this can be a beneficial day to, step forward with those things. Structured creativity is also now at a peak of its expression in our lives as well. So because of this, it's a good time to hire that architect you've been thinking of hiring, or work with a jeweler to design that ring or that piece of jewelry, or to connect with some seamstress today that you need. you'll get great results, because structured creativity is the zone of Saturn with Venus. In a positive combination today, it's good to employ those sorts of people if you need to. Equally, you can express your own practical creativity and you'll be very, very satisfied with the results. Now, on the 15th of May, we have what we were talking about a little earlier. We have Mercury down here in Taurus, boom, boom, turning direct. We love it when Mercury goes direct. It's kind of like a breath of fresh air. Not because Mercury retrograde is obnoxious. It's just full of little hiccups, full of little inconveniences that we'd rather not have. So now that Mercury is direct, the whole idea of Mercury retrograde is the idea of revamping something, renewing something, researching something, reconnecting with someone, resolving some situation. So that's what the 3-week Mercury retrograde period is really focused on, that. And now that Mercury is at his most powerful when he turns direct, it's time to get going and take action on those things. So have you researched your next big step in life during the last 3 weeks? And it's time to make a move. Have you resolved any conflicts and tensions that are present in your life over the last 3 weeks? It's a very good thing to do, actually. Well, you can celebrate things now feeling lighter. Have you reviewed your decisions in your life? You know, the big decisions that you've been sort of leaning on. Have you given them some second thoughts over the last 3 weeks? Well, now it's time to move forward with what you're really feeling in your heart in a new solid direction. It's time to take action. So what are you waiting for? Mercury is now direct on the 15th of May. Also on the 15th of May, we've got a rather juicy trine occurring between Neptune down here in the latter degrees of Pisces and Mars in the latter degrees, 27 degrees of Cancer. And this is a case when these two very opposite kinds of energies meet up in a very supportive trine, we get a harmony between action and intuition. And that can help us move in the right direction. So if we're feeling an intuitive pull to go do this or to hang out with that person or to make this happen in our business, when we feel that level of intuition in us, that's Neptune, and Mars is saying, I'm going to take action. Away I go. I'm going to put that in place. I'm going to design that website. I'm going to release that advertising campaign. I'm going to go talk to that person. I'm going to negotiate that deal. We take action now. Mars gets us going on our intuitive hunches. Also, this beautiful trine can turn our compassion into action as well. We wear our heart on our sleeve a little more, and we are keen to solve problems in our life in a kinder way. So it's a beautiful, compassionate, kind energy associated with action, not just feeling, compassion or feeling empathy or anything. It's about doing something about it, getting the job done. I love this energy. It's a great combo when it's like this in a trine. So this energy, it mixes in a fascinating way because these planets that are usually, as I said, quite polaric, they do this complementary dance. So compromise comes easier now, and we can move through life's activities with a sort of a gentler and more relaxed attitude towards things instead of a frenzy. Go, 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 go. It's more like, yeah, I'm doing, but I'm cool about it. I'm just relaxed about it. So patience is, it becomes more than a virtue. It's a state of being under this energy. So take time with Mars, trine, Neptune. Take time to participate in beautiful activities now. Activities is a Mars energy, and Neptune is the beautiful. So take time to paint, to dance, to go swimming or sailing. Doing so can actually very much transport you into a realm of utter happiness under this beautiful spiritual and a highly evolved combination. I love a trine between Mars and Neptune, quite frankly. But the big gun that we're going to be talking about this week is down here. Mr. Jupiter, king of the gods, the big picture planet, the big protector planet, I might add as well, moving into Taurus on the 17th of May. So in he trundles into a sign of safety and security. Now this begins a year of Jupiter moving through Taurus. So there's going to be big Taurian themes for the whole world. What's this going to look like? where you're going to watch themes of sustainability, organics, nature, and spiritualism, and the natural world, or the spiritualism rather, of the natural world, start to really be emphasized. So, the nature lovers and the people who connect with the spirit of Mother Earth, that's what we're looking at while we have Jupiter moving through Taurus. Practical beliefs are, because Jupiter is belief and Taurus is practical. Practical beliefs are where it's at. And there's less of an emphasis when Jupiter's in Taurus on the intangible, less of an emphasis on other dimensional experiences, and more focus on our life in the body in the earth realm and the spirituality we feel by being connected to other manifested third dimensional physical realities. Now, this is a generational placement, so everybody born in this coming year is going to have Jupiter in Taurus, and that will contribute to a lot of how they experience their life on Earth. It's going to come with this group that are born with Jupiter in Taurus, or if you have it in your own chart, it's got you are probably somebody who has a higher understanding about nature, about the environment, and about the Earth. Jupiter gives a higher understanding, in this case, about Earth matters. There's also an intuitive knowledge and a higher understanding here about money, about wealth, about agriculture, about nature. This is a beautiful, beautiful manifestation of this energy. So we will put a lot of our focus onto those things: money, wealth, agriculture, and nature. So there's going to be a focus on that. And of course, during this time, just to mention, we are going to have Jupiter moving into a conjunction with Uranus a little later on down the track. That's going to be a very key and significant period in the history of our planet. So we'll talk more about that at the time. But that's going to be the key event of Jupiter in Taurus, when Jupiter makes the conjunction with Uranus. But right now, with this reading, we're looking generally at Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. So in the positive, Jupiter here can be quite generous with possessions, meaning we want to share what we've got, with people who don't have what we have. So that's a beautiful, positive manifestation. Jupiter is generous. Jupiter is benevolent. And Taurus is our stuff, our possessions, our material goods, our money. So Jupiter wants to share that with other people so we can be more generous. But we might also see our own material comfort and stability increasing in many cases, because what Jupiter does wherever he goes, he expands whatever he touches. And in the side of materiality, he wants to expand our experience of the material pleasures. So this can be a blessing. Now, I just have to mention, though, that Jupiter is not well dignified in earth signs. Earth and air, Jupiter's not so comfy like he is in fire and water. So in earth and air signs, and of course Taurus is an earth sign, unfortunately, Jupiter can sort of overinflate. He is this big, gaseous, protective planet out there in the solar system, sort of keeping all the stray comets from coming into the inner circle of the sun's, zone where we are. Jupiter is protective, and he's also huge. And so we do get a strong protective element with Jupiter in Taurus, because he is a protective energy, and Taurus is seeking safety, security, and stability. So that's good. But what can happen is Jupiter, with his overblown bigness, can also overinflate. And so here in the sign of Taurus for the next year, we might find us putting overemphasis on the importance of money to the point where money becomes a god above all else. And that's nasty to see in anyone, where all they think about is economics, all they think about is money. I mean, it's been the ruin of Western culture, the obsession and the greed that people have, has it not? This is why we're in the dire straits that we are, with the horrifically greedy leaders that we've got. And this is the shadow side of Jupiter in Taurus, where we just overinflate the emphasis of the material, of possessions, of stuff, of money. And of course, that creates all sorts of disasters. So be very conscious going forward for the next year of too much emphasis on having and gimme, and more. Now, when I break this down for all signs, we're going to be talking a lot about what Jupiter does in each house. But I also just want to point out that whatever house Taurus is for you is where you can create wealth for yourself going forward through the next year while Jupiter is here. So in this case, Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, if it's your sixth house, as we've kind of got going on here, if Jupiter is in the sixth, if Taurus is your sixth house and Jupiter is here, you can make a lot of money by maybe establishing a cleaning company. Sixth house is cleaning. Or sixth house is also to do some sort of service for people. So maybe you establish a beauty center or a personal training business or something. Whatever is sixth house is where you can make money for the next year while Jupiter is moving through the sign of Taurus. And he's going to be in the sign of Taurus until the 25th of May, 2024. So a little over a full year here. Lots to look forward to, lots to be aware of. Now, that's actually why I'm wearing green, because we're talking about Taurus, and Taurus is represented by the green nature colors. Now, also, what's happening here is on the 18th of May, Jupiter is going to square Pluto. So he's going to move into Taurus and on the 17th, and then almost immediately, he's going to be making a square aspect to Pluto. So our first experience of Jupiter in the sign of Taurus may not be that pleasant. It's so intriguing when these two big guns, Pluto and Jupiter, I mean, if you know the mythologies, they were brothers, and Jupiter rescued Pluto from being caught in the belly of his father. But they're both pretty hefty gods, god of the underworld and Jupiter, king of the gods. So it's so intriguing when these two do a tango in any way in the sky like this. But this is one tango that is less delightful than others. It is a 90-degree square. Jupiter square Pluto transit makes you want to succeed. Yes, you'll be driven to success, and in sign of Taurus, it might exhibit like a greedy desire for success, and you'll want to succeed big time. So the intensity of your push for power with this combination can feel almost suffocating. You might feel an obsessiveness about achieving greatness, an obsessiveness about having success and wealth. And if we're not careful, this greedy push can actually ruin relationships that we have and bring out an element of destructive ruthlessness in us that we may have never known before. You know, we might be the kindest, most lovely, gentle person. This transit comes along on the 18th and we are like, gimme, gimme, gimme to the max. Because Pluto empowers what it touches, Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So Pluto's expanding Jupiter and the overblown nature, if you like, of Jupiter, while Jupiter expands the Pluto, which is this obsessive, ambitious desire. It could be pretty hard going, so forewarned, forearmed. So mania and extremism might be observed in society around the 18th, and maybe even a loss of moral integrity that might be around in your society in some way that could lead to some truly disappointing outcomes. So avoid making powerful enemies under this particular influence, because they could absolutely turn your life into a living hell. Remember, graciousness, kindness, empathy, they're your winning tickets to avoiding the nastiness of this transit. So remember, during this time, keep your karma clean. You can achieve not all squares are bad, I must say, bad in the idea of what they bring us, but you can achieve power and prosperity under this influence. But this is especially actually true if you have any planets or a rising degree or something at 0 degrees of one of the fixed signs in your chart. If you've got that, then it's getting an activation from these two planets as well. But I just want to say, it'll only be for your greatest long-term good if you keep your ethics above board. If you achieve prosperity and power by some ruthlessness, by some coercion, manipulation, or underhanded tactics, your karma will come back to haunt you. And I'm not saying that to be all like pious or anything, because I make big mistakes like everybody. But we've really got to be aware under this energy to keep our karma clean, as I say, to do things with integrity, with the right motives, because what does the Bible says? God weighs the heart. God looks at the heart. He doesn't. And this is, I just need to go off on a little ranty tangent here. But you know something? Everybody in the world looks at your actions, and judges you on your actions and what they see on the outside. Oh, he did this or she did that. And society doesn't approve of that sort of behavior. Tut, tut, tut. And so that's external viewing of the actions. But the Bible says God looks at the heart. And if your motives are pure and clean and clear, if you are seeking the highest good of everybody in your life, including yourself, and that's a very important thing to remember, because so many of us abide by society's laws because it's going to please everybody else around us, but is it good for us? And God weighs the heart and is looking at our motives for, is it going to be good for the people who are involved here, and how can I make it so that they are blessed as well? But me too. You deserve. Me and you deserve to make choices that are for your highest good as well as everybody else. People should never sacrifice their own joy for the sake of others, I don't feel. There's always a way to make it so that it's balanced and harmonious for everybody, where everybody wins. That's my Libran moon speaking. But the reason I mention that today is because we have to keep our karma clean under this energy. And karma is not what we think it is, or the judgment of what's good and bad is not what we think it is here on the earth plane according to earth-based rules. What happens in heaven, and the Vedic scriptures talk about this, what happens in heaven, what is judged good and bad in heaven is completely different to what is judged good and bad on the earth realm, because man looks at the outside, but the divine looks at the heart. So keep your karma clean under this energy, and you may just achieve power and prosperity that will cause you to flourish in this lifetime and the next. Thank you. I do have Jupiter in the first house. Forgive me if I do get preachy sometimes. All right, my friends, now we're going to move into this week's Astro Weather breakdown for everyone. And I will just point out that as I'm recording this, it is 6 o'clock in the evening, and we are no longer on daylight savings times here in Australia, so it's getting kind of dark. So I hope the light remains. Actually, what I might do, I might flick my living room lights on, and that will help alleviate any darkness that's creeping in. All right, Jupiter through the houses, and this is going to be lasting for a whole year. We're going to start with Taurus. This is what you're in for the whole coming year, my Taurus friends, not just for the coming week ahead. Quite a stellium you've got there, I must say, as well. It's phenomenal. You've got Jupiter, Mercury, North Node, Uranus, and the Sun. Big emphasis on Taurus at the moment. So if this is your sign, it's a year of feeling like you're just a bit luckier than usual. If you're born with Jupiter in the first house, it's what we call being born under a lucky star. You hear all that terminology. This is where it comes from, Jupiter in the first house. So even with a lot of difficulties this year, you will be protected. Jupiter is the great protector. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, and this is going to help you being luckier this year. Now, Jupiter is the god of the future. He's a forward-looking planet. And therefore, what happens in this year of your life is going to serve in some way to set you up for the coming years ahead. There's going to be some benefit in this realm that is going to unfold for you for maybe a whole 12 years until he's back here again at the next cycle of Jupiter. So very much setting up the future for you right now with Jupiter transiting through the first house. Believe me, it wasn't that long ago that I had Jupiter in Pisces in my first house, and my God, the things that happened for me in that year have changed my world, not in that instant, not in that moment that Jupiter was there, but going forward for perhaps the rest of my life. So incredible, incredible energy, Jupiter in the first house of protection, luck, and blessing. You may not see it straight away, but you will in good time. So Jupiter in the first house, you might receive a lot of blessings from the universe, but it will be in response to the generosity that comes from within you. If you're not being generous by nature, then the universe will not respond and return that to you. What you put out now while Jupiter's in the first house will determine how much blessing comes your way in the future from Jupiter in the first house transit. It is a period where you might be receiving excellent guidance from wisdom givers, people who can show the light to you where there is darkness, and you can actually make some really significant plans for the future while Jupiter is in the first house. Other people might start to look at you as a wise counselor yourself. You might start to see things from a higher perspective with a more big picture view. That can give sometimes the ability to prophesy and see the future. Although just be a tad careful, Taurus, because remember Jupiter is not favorable in earth signs. So what that might mean is you might get something you think is a forewarning or a prophecy or a prediction, and it might not come to pass, okay? But you'll be convinced that it is the truth. I'd just be really careful about that. So if you're feeling convinced about something and that the universe has given you a message, share it with tact and share it with maybe a disclaimer. Use this at your discretion, use this information at your discretion. I feel it's from the divine, but I want you to, tune in and judge, is it for you or not? Okay? It's a time, Jupiter's the Santa Claus energy. It's jovial. So you might be feeling more jovial than usual, more sparkly, more benevolent, more charismatic. Jupiter is amplifying the house of you. Very exciting. One thing to be careful of, though, is Jupiter can expand the body when he's in the first house. So too many luxuries, too many good things. Jupiter rules good things, and the body might tend to sort of put on a few kilos. That happened to me when Jupiter transited my first house, and I had to work hard and lose about 10 kilos, which I couldn't believe had happened to me. So quite honest, I was like, Jupiter, you snuck up on me. So yes, do be careful of that. But knowledge is power. I hope that helps. You're going to feel very optimistic about your life while Jupiter is here. You'll see life as a great adventure, maybe look at things through rose-colored glasses more so than usual. It can give you easy access to higher knowledge, and maybe even easy access to foreign country and travel while Jupiter is in your first house as well. So you might be learning something new. You might go on a trip and travel overseas. You might even encounter more foreign people in some way as well. You will feel more easygoing and more forgiving while Jupiter is here, and you might even give that impression more so than usual. Jupiter, wherever he transits, can give an ability to make money through that realm, and for you, it's through your own initiative. Your own efforts, your own entrepreneurism can be a source of money for you going forward. Sounds pretty good, Taurus. Enjoy the next year. All right, moving on. We've got Jupiter in the second house, so that makes Aries rising, Aries sun, Aries moon people. All right, so Jupiter is moving out of your first house, Aries, and into Taurus, your second house. And this is a really good position for wealth. It can be a year when things are going to expand and grow, where you can increase your abundance. It's like good karma. If you're a good person, that comes back to you in the form of tangible material benefit. Jupiter is the planet that rules good karma from past lifetimes. So that can be an absolute blessing and an absolute gift in the next year. That being the case, what is likely to happen, because Jupiter is a planet of the future, you might not notice your wealth increase in the moment while Jupiter is there, but things will be set up during this time that are going to benefit you going forward into the future, maybe even for the next 12 years as Jupiter travels around and then comes back to this point. The next 12 years could bring you blessing based on what happens this year, setting you up for good wealth and abundance going forward, if you've got good karma coming back to you in that way. You can make more money during Jupiter's time in the second house. I'll vouch for that. But you also tend to spend a bit more money too. Lots of money comes in and you've got lots of reasons to spend it. It's fun. We make money to enjoy life. So don't be too hung up on the fact that the money's going out as quick as it's coming in. It's not always going to be that way. And like I said, you are setting things up for wealth and benefit going forward into the future now. So keep your eyes peeled for opportunities. You won't be fighting or striving for money while Jupiter transits the first house. You'll just be believing that the universe is abundant, and this is so important about second house energy. How you believe about resources and your deservability regarding resources will see whether or not you manifest them. So your belief in the goodness of the universe will determine how much the universe and how abundantly the universe blesses you. And often in the Vedic system, this is a house of family, and what our family teaches us. If your family has taught you to see the world as abundant and beneficial and generous, then you will manifest that kind of energy in your life, and you have a belief that the universe is not limited. You'll be very generous with what you have, and the universe will be generous with you. But the other way around is also possible. If your family has taught you a poverty consciousness, we can never break out of this class that we're in, and we will never be able to earn more than what we earn, so we've just got to learn to accept what we've got. If that's the kind of story you've been told by your family, it could restrict how much Jupiter can give you during this particular transit. So I would encourage you, if you've got a poverty consciousness, get to and change that mindset, change your thinking, redirect your neural pathways to create a prosperity consciousness, and Jupiter, while he's in the second house, can then begin to bless you in response to your belief. Jupiter is the planet of belief. So this is a good position to help transform for the future going forward your relationship with money and your belief about money. Make sure you use it for that end. You can make money through through second house things, and Jupiter things, second house things. Foreign languages, foreign people. You can make money through philosophy, other cultures, academia, religion, faith. Jupiter also, if you've done the introductory level of the Royal Stars Academy, you'll know exactly what Jupiter rules. Things like apricots and cathedrals, castles, stuff that Jupiter rules. And it's the things that Jupiter rules that you can make money through. This is the house of money, and Jupiter is wealth. You can make money through that over the coming year. Now, if you want to know all the things that Jupiter rules, why not do the first level, the introductory level of the Royal Stars Academy, and find out what all the planets rule and govern. Do be careful of overeating, because this is the house of food, and Jupiter wants to indulge and expand everything to do with food, and also good times and luxuries. So Jupiter, actually, one of the things he rules is fat, and so you might indulge in rich fatty foods. And that can obviously then start storing. This is the house of storage, storing of the rich fatty foods you're eating on the body. So be careful with this. It's just as dangerous a position for the health of the body in that way as Jupiter transiting the first. But knowledge is power, and I hope I've just empowered you with that fact. Thank you, Aries. Now Pisces, my beloved fellow Pisces. We are having Jupiter transit through the third house. So this is the house of small business. It's the house of money that we generate with our own skills and abilities and knowledge and learning. There can be a lot of wealth and abundance that can come to Pisces over the coming year through third house things, like having your own business, advertising, marketing, communicating, writing a blog, speaking, leading workshops, that sort of thing. Money is available to you, or can be generated by you doing those third house based things. Jupiter is a planet that gives a lot of something. So you might find that this year you're writing a lot, talking a lot, producing a lot, communicating in abundance with people. Lots of content making, lots of advertising, lots of marketing, lots of connections, lots of workshops. Jupiter is just going to give you lots of opportunities in those realms. I would also suggest that Jupiter during this transit will be setting you up for the future to do more of that sort of thing going forward, even beyond his time here in the third house, maybe for the next 12 years until he's back again. You will be setting up certain systems in your life that you are going to perhaps make money from these third house avenues. You can also have, with Jupiter in the third house, Pisces, you might end up having many small businesses. Jupiter is lots of something. So you might, have this, like I'll use my business for an example here, because I'm a Pisces person. I've got a Thinkific platform where I'm teaching astrology to anybody who wants to learn at any time of year. Join whenever you like. There's a little ad there. But that is one of my avenues, a small business I've got. Doing astrology readings, another avenue. Selling written reports is another avenue. These are many little small businesses. My Patreon family is another small offering to the world. So there's these little avenues, many little avenues. You could have, like Jupiter in the third house can bring a lot of different avenues of running your small business, or many different small businesses while he's here. You probably can really amp up the level of your skills and talents while Jupiter moves through the third house too. It's a likable position to have Jupiter transiting the third house, and it can make your thinking very positive, very upbeat, very optimistic, because this is the third house of how we think. So what a gift, what a blessing, my beautiful Pisces friends. If we're generally upbeat and optimistic anyway, this is going to really help us to see the world through rose-colored glasses. I love it. I can't wait. We might have a lot of jovial interactions with our relatives, our neighbours and our siblings. With this, we might be, like I said, seeing the world through rose-coloured glasses, but we might also see the humour in everything, because Jupiter is very jovial and, it's got a great sense of humour. You might become a lot more funny. People might find you more amusing, my friends. Your personality can be larger than life when it comes to wit and humour. You can also be more broad-minded while Jupiter is here, more accepting, easy with your communication. If you work in a situation with teams or groups, small groups, classmates, that sort of thing, you might feel very generous and benevolent towards those groups of people. You probably will have a lot more confidence to go out and learn in group situations too over the next year. And through doing so, you can actually increase the number of friends that you have. Jupiter also rules ceremonies and celebrations, and you might enjoy hosting these things with relatives, with family, with friends. And these events will just flow and come naturally for you. Like, I'm thinking about my situation, and I've got to say, I already have so many family events with my siblings planned for the end of May and into June. It's like Jupiter's really kicking it off for party season with my relatives. Already, I can see it unfolding. Go Jupiter. You can benefit a lot through buying and selling, through sales, and you can make money through these things as well. Jupiter making money in the third house of sales, PR, advertising, writing, on the internet, through social media, through YouTube, and also through any skills and talents of the hands that you might have. You might also have fingers, like I said, in many of these pies throughout the coming year. And these fields will tend to just grow and grow and grow going forward in the future for you as well. What you set up on the internet now is likely to bring blessing to you in the long term. Jupiter's not endurance. Jupiter sets things up to benefit you in the future. So you setting up a website now, it can benefit you in the future. You're launching a Thinkific platform where you're going to teach people something, it will benefit you in the future. Jupiter is a future-oriented planet. Jupiter is also faith and higher-minded ideals, his spirituality, his the law, his morality and compassion, and you'll be thinking a lot about those things, and you might be communicating a lot about those Jupiter-based things. You might encounter a tour guide. You might even operate in some way as a tour guide to someone. Maybe somebody comes and visits you from another country, and you operate as a tour guide, showing them your country and, introducing them to your culture and that sort of thing. What we're seeing here is the house of short trips meets Jupiter, the planet of other cultures. So taking day trips and showing, people this mountain or this national park or this cafe, that kind of thing. One thing that I would say be careful of while Jupiter's here, Pisces, is a tendency to overlook the details, okay? Those of us who are Jupiterian tend to do that anyway, and I'm one of those people. So I need to be very careful and pay good attention to the details in my day-to-day life, because Jupiter is big picture thinking, and this is the house of the details. Planets in houses are more strong than houses on their own. And so Jupiter is making my lack of small detail focus even worse over the coming year, because I'll be so focused on what can be done in the big picture that I neglect the forest for the trees. No, the trees for the forest, I think is how that would be phrased. So just be careful of that one. But all in all, a super transit for the coming year, my beautiful Jupiter friends. Pisces friends, not Jupiter friends. What am I saying? All right, Aquarius rising, Aquarius sun, Aquarius moon energy. People, goodness sakes, where is my mind? I'm already in this Jupiter big picture thinking, and the fine details has completely gone out the door. All right, Aquarius rising, sun or moon sees Jupiter moving into your 4th house for the next year. This is a fantastic position. It's going to give you the ability to generate abundance and wealth over the coming year, or maybe set up some system that will generate abundance and wealth in the future through property, vehicles, family connections. These, real estate, gardens, fishing, farming are all 4th house things. These are avenues for you to make money in the coming year, my beautiful friends. It's also the house of emotion, and Jupiter is happy emotion, joyful emotion, benevolent emotion. So you are likely to experience a lot of stability with emotions and upbeat positivity with your emotions. Your feelings of security, especially while Jupiter is in Taurus, are going to abound. You will feel safe in the world, secure in the world, like life has got your back. No matter what upheavals and roller coaster ride we go on, you will just have a sense emotionally that you're going to land on your feet and that everything's going to be okay. You will have a really beautiful relationship, or you have the potential to have a beautiful relationship with parents and your children here. But remember, it's always up to you. You have the choice. If you've had a fractious relationship with parents or children, well, this energy says maybe it's time to reach out and reconnect and try to regenerate a happy relationship with those people in your life. Jupiter can give you the means to do so. If you've had an awful relationship of abuse and what have you, Jupiter is a protective energy. So Jupiter can protect you now from any malefic influence from family that you want to get away from. So I would be, I'm no judge of whether it's good or bad or otherwise, but one thing you could do is pray to Jupiter for protection if you need that now. So you can be more blessed, or maybe even lucky, with something to do with family and with home, etc. You can succeed, as I said, through property, but you can also have potentially a lot of properties while Jupiter transits the 4th house. Maybe you are, you've got a flat that you rent out as an Airbnb, and you get the opportunity to buy a second one. 2 flats, and that then turns into 3 flats, and you've got a whole Airbnb business functioning because you've managed your money well and you have a lot of properties. Now, you probably will also want to make your home environment more Jupiterian this year. Make it lighter, brighter, make it feel more spacious, make it feel more open. Jupiter brings that need to, even in a small space, Jupiter brings the need to feel like your home is expansive. So that can happen, or you might even move while Jupiter's here to live near a cathedral or a university or a place of higher learning, or somewhere very cultural while Jupiter is moving through the place of living. This is also the house of the mother figure, be that your actual mother or whether it's somebody who takes that role in your life. And your mother is likely to be blessed by Jupiter moving through the 4th house. She will feel perhaps more expansive, more kind, more spiritual, more generous herself, or more benevolent. Her energy can become more jovial because of Jupiter in your 4th house. You might also lose some boundaries. Jupiter kind of pushes the boundaries out with your mother, and just be careful that you're not crossing the line that offends other people, or they're not crossing the line that offends you, because Jupiter is to expand, and you're expanding the boundaries with your parents. You might be more tolerant of certain things that you wouldn't have been tolerant of a year ago while Jupiter is here. So it brings a lot of happiness with family, or the capacity to be happy with family, and can sort of make you a bright, bubbly person at the core of your being. So lovely, lovely energy for my Aquarian friends. Thank you. Capricorn rising, sun or moon people, the energy of Jupiter moving through Taurus is going to be trining your first house, because Jupiter will be moving into the 5th house for you, and that makes a backwards trine to your first house of you. So this is why the 5th house can be such a blessing house, such a lucky house. And Jupiter here, I mean, who wouldn't want Jupiter in the 5th house? What a gift. So you're going to have abundant creative energy this year. So creative, you know, creating beautiful works of art, creating lovely performances, creating great costume designs, you know, lots of artistic endeavors. And with Jupiter in the 5th house, these artistic endeavors can have a lot of meaning and purpose. You could put a lot of higher wisdom into the poetry you write or the films that you make or something like that. And you might be very keen with your creativity on giving faith and hope to people, being a light bringer through your creativity this year. It's also a really good position if you're a teacher, Jupiter transiting through this area of the chart, because it helps you to be more inspirational to your students. You might find that your students just love you this year and you have a really great year, particularly with teenage students. You might just have a year where everything's fantastic with your teaching, if that's what you do for a living. So Jupiter is the planet of wealth, and here in the 5th house, which is all about risk-taking and gambling and luck, you might actually have more of a chance to strike it lucky for the long term, you know. But not only that, you might be lucky through your creative endeavors. And it's also the house of good karma, and Jupiter is the planet of good karma. So you might be getting a lot of rewards from the universe, from your good store of karma, either earlier in this life, or if you are a believer in reincarnation, from the good things you have done in past lives. And of course, the more good things you do in this life, the more it's going to bless you in your future lives. So be generous, be kind, be loving, be uplifting, so that you're building good karma for yourself for the future. So, yeah, it may... Yes, I wouldn't go taking a risk in this first couple of weeks as Jupiter moves into Taurus, because he will be squaring Pluto. That doesn't really bode well for nice things to come of any gambling or risk-taking or that sort of thing. But certainly moving on towards the latter stages of 2023, as Jupiter moves more out of that square zone with Pluto, you might be better to take a risk sort of more towards, say, October, November, because of this combination. Okay, so you might find that children, 5th house is children. Children are your teachers this year. Children might be your guide. So pay attention to what your children have to say. Pay attention to their wisdom and their knowledge. Children are far wiser than we give them credit for. They're not conditioned and brainwashed, and so they see things clearly, until they go to school and then get conditioned and brainwashed. So trust the children this year that you encounter. They can be your teacher. They can expand your heart. They can expand your knowledge. Now, if you have children, this is also represented by the 5th house, and they can be somehow involved in more Jupiterian activities. This year, they might move into Jupiterian careers connected to higher learning, or broad-minded careers, or benevolent careers, charitable careers, Jupiter, or travel careers, international careers even as well. They might be more Jupiterian themselves. They might be just more jovial. They might have a better sense of humor. They might be more optimistic and upbeat than maybe they ordinarily are. So your children are blessed because Jupiter transits here through the 5th house. Jupiter also rules having many things. So for some of our Capricorn people, you might have a lot of lovers this year. This is the house of lovers. So lots of romance. You know, maybe you just have a single lover, but you're just like the romantic, tete-a-tetes just keep coming and coming and coming. Romance is expanded. Jupiter in the 5th house. Or you might just feel a strong drive for relationship pleasures this year, more so than usual. Hobbies this year are seen from the 5th house, and they might have more to do with traveling or international culture. Your hobbies might have something to do with exploring faith and belief. It could be collecting children's books. Jupiter is the planet in Vedic astrology of children, and here in the house of the realm of hobbies, that's something I used to do when my children were little. I collected beautiful children's books, and I have a gorgeous little library of children's books because of it. Might collect children's toys or something like that too, or children's movies. This is the house of children. Jupiter is children, and it's also hobbies. So fifth house hobbies, collecting children's bits and pieces. You might have a hobby of looking deep into philosophies. You might be looking to connect with gurus as a hobby this year, or a spiritual pursuit this year. Yoga, meditation, spiritual practice might be your hobbies going forward this year while Jupiter transits through the fifth house. How nice, Capricorn. All right, now Sagittarius, rising, sun or moon. The energy of Jupiter transiting through Taurus is going to be moving through your sixth house, my gorgeous Sagittarius friends. So long to Jupiter in the fifth house, which is a little bit sad, bit boo-hoo. But wherever Jupiter goes is where we receive more of something. And the sixth house might indicate that you might have a few more responsibilities than usual this year. A lot of work to do and a lot of duties and service to fulfill. You might have a lot of different jobs this year. Jupiter brings many things to the house of work. You might work in many places because Jupiter is connected to faraway places, and this is the house of work. So you might be, 1 month working out of Egypt, the next month working out of Dubai, the next month working out of New York, and so on, working in different places. It's also a placement that can see your work and your business grow big. Jupiter can expand the level of responsibility in your workplace. He can expand the service that you're doing if you're in a service industry. And you can really succeed this year in the realm of work through this transit, but you'll also have to work hard because the sixth house is connected to hard work. So you can succeed big, but you'll work hard for it with Jupiter moving through this realm. Now, this is also the house of the pets we own, domestic animals. And so you might have, get a few more animals this year. You might get a new pet this year. Jupiter is also virtue and kindness, and you might be moved to be very compassionate towards animals this year in some way, which might mean you adopt one or something. But Jupiter in the sixth house, very virtuous and compassionate towards people in places of disadvantage or the imbalances of the world. So you might devote yourself this year to helping in many areas where you mightn't usually be interested in helping. Helping people get out of debt, helping people solve a conflict, helping people, move through a court case or something. You might be helping people compassionately who are really going through a tough time. Jupiter is also forgiving. And in this placement, you might be required to forgive people who have it in for you, your enemies, basically, criminals, perpetrators, abusers, people who incite conflict. And Jupiter might make you feel very benevolent and forgiving towards those people. So in that sense, not that we should let people walk all over us, but it can be good for ending a conflict. You're going through a divorce. Divorce is ruled from the sixth house, or one of the houses that we see it through. You might be going through a divorce and it's been yucky and not nice, but because of Jupiter moving through the sixth house, you can forgive your partner, get it done and dusted, say, look, let's just reach an agreement and call it quits, and let's move on, because Jupiter is to forgive. Jupiter is to be kind. And so you're not going to want to, take anyone to court forever here. Just be careful. Jupiter, having a benefic planet in a malefic house can be less beneficial, because it's a placement where we can allow others to take advantage of us. Too soft. Jupiter and Venus in the sixth house, they're too soft to have the toughness that we need to deal with life's yucky things. Okay, we're looking for luck instead of just dealing head on with the problem, So that's one of the shadow sides of this placement. So forewarned, forearmed, and knowledge is power, my friends. Jupiter can be too permissive. And this is the house of self-soothing our imbalances. So do be careful of addiction, of being too lenient with your diet, of saying, I can't be bothered anymore. I'm just going to eat these potato chips instead of sticking to my healthy fruit and veggies, And so our body can suffer when Jupiter in his leniency moves through the house of diet. Jupiter also in the shadow energy in the sixth house can bring health issues, diet issues, Just be careful of that, because knowledge is power. And, if you just take care of every little health issue that crops up, maybe you have a problem with your teeth one week and then you stub your big toe the next time, and you're feeling a bit lethargic the next week, and, one thing after another, that's some difficulty with health and with the body. And if that's what's going on for you, no, hey, that's Jupiter in the 6th house. I'm going to just accept it. I'm going to be patient with it. I'm going to be caring and compassionate towards myself and as kind as I can. Now, this, if you're in the medical industry or a service profession, this can be amazing. If you're in the military, if you're a lawyer, there can be tremendous intuition for your work with Jupiter moving through this placement. And you might find that your work, if you're in those fields, can really just expand. If you are a personal trainer, if you're a dietitian or a nutritionist, somebody who helps people deal with the imbalances of their life, then you can have just such an influx of work that it's, you're going crazy, you're so busy. Jupiter feels invincible too, and here in the 6th house, you might try to fix the problems of the whole world but burn yourself out. So just be careful of feeling overwhelmed. And that can obviously lead to health issues as well if you're just doing too much. Remember, try and bring some boundaries into your work life, your well-being, your health, your diet. You will need to consciously do that, because Jupiter will tend to want to blow things out a bit in that way. But at the highest level of vibration, Jupiter transiting here can give you the optimism to overcome issues. You will work extremely hard to find balance again. Great placement if you want to become a health guru or a conflict management advisor or a divorce counselor or an addiction counselor. You will need to be very aware of being an enabler with Jupiter in the 6th house, or of being taken advantage by people, but you can turn your compassion for problem solving into something beneficial for you. I said about animals, didn't I? Jupiter, as I mentioned earlier, is wealth, and wherever he goes by transit is where we can generate more finances. So here, moving through the 6th house, he can increase your wealth through 6th house things like medicines, through the military, through conflict resolution services, through the ending of a divorce. He can increase your wealth through a divorce circumstance. He can increase your wealth through pets or animals or just your general workplace. As I said, if you're an employer, he can increase your wealth through good employees and good subordinates that you hire to run your work. So, that's a good thing to look at this year. Jupiter can bless you through those people. And in turn, your subordinates can be very kind and good people to you if you're their boss or their employer. Jupiter is also the planet of higher calling, and you might feel in some way called to help the disadvantaged this year, or to help the poor, the weak, and the underprivileged. So that is really the energy of the next year, that courtesy of Jupiter, that you'll be feeling, my beautiful Sagittarius friends. Now, Scorpio rising, sun or moon people, Jupiter is moving through, for the next year, moving through your 7th house, the house of relationships. What's this going to bring you? Well, it is a beautiful placement. Jupiter transiting the 7th can bring a lot of blessing. Jupiter can bring you many opportunities to meet partners if you're single. So that's fantastic if you're looking for a partner. It won't make you a Don Juan or anything like that, but it will bring you abundant opportunities for partnership this year. You can take your pick, basically. And the relationships that do come into your life will have a more Jupiterian tone. They will be expansive type relationships that help you grow. They'll be benevolent relationships that bring blessing into your life. So if you've been avoiding, Scorpio, getting out on the dating scene for whatever reason, and believe me, it sucks. It's a horrible place to be on the dating scene. I hate those internet dating apps, but this is the year when it might actually work for you. And the people that you will encounter, whether they become lifelong partners or not, they're going to give you more growth and expansion and blessing. So it is worth getting out there again on the dating scene this year, because Jupiter can do wonderful things for you there. If you are married or in a committed partnership, and the partnership is delightful and joyful, Jupiter just makes it even better. Jupiter expands it. It gives you more fun. You'll have more joy together. You'll feel more optimistic and positive about your partner. Your partner will be a source of blessing to you. He or she will be optimistic and very future oriented about the life that you're living together. Be thinking about how you can grow your love, how your love can be blessed. What a glorious thing to have Jupiter transiting the 7th house if you're in a healthy relationship. But if you're in an awful relationship, if you're in a relationship you're doubtful is even the right one for you, Jupiter can actually split up a partnership when he's in the 7th house. But you need to sort of assess, if you want to know what's going to happen, you need to assess, am I in love with this person or no? And your immediate answer to that question will tell you whether Jupiter is likely to split up the relationship or not. So what that means, why that is that Jupiter is, how shall I put this? Jupiter represents our expansion and what our belief and what we believe we deserve when it comes to partnership. And with Jupiter moving through the 7th house, if you're not enamored with your partner that you are with, Jupiter's going to give you the optimism that there's more for you than you've got right now. There's a better option out there for you. You'll believe in the goodness of the universe to bring you the partner of your dreams. So you'll be willing to walk away from a partnership that is not authentic. Jupiter is also your purpose and meaning. And so if this partnership is not part of your life's purpose and meaning, you will again be compelled to walk away. So Jupiter through the 7th house can end relationships in that capacity. Your partner might take on Jupiterian qualities. They might start to be a mentor or an advisor, a coach or a counselor. They might be very optimistic and funny and make you laugh all the time. Like I said, you'll have more fun with them. So that can be the case. And it can also be the case with business partners. Just more fun with business partners. Isn't that nice? They might introduce you to things in your life that will expand your mind and your understanding. Your partner might be traveling a lot. They might go overseas a lot. They might be exploring other countries. You might meet somebody who is foreign while Jupiter transits the 7th house as well. I just want to check something. Bear with me. Okay. Yeah, I was going to talk about whether Jupiter in the 7th house can actually bring crisis or problems to a partner. And I'm pleased to say this is not one of those combinations that can bring crisis or problems to a partner. So lovely. Your partner is going to be blessed this year. Your partner might expand and grow and flourish. Their life can really rocket launch for them this year. And how lovely when we are in love with our partner to see our partner flourishing. Isn't that what we all want? Isn't that the whole purpose of a relationship? To build one another up, to bless one another and help each other shine. So this is a time when your partner might actually be doing that. Jupiter is also good karma from past lifetimes. And this is a year when the partners you encounter will bring good karma into your life. So the good karma you receive is coming from the partners that you encounter. Partners can be very lucky. They might land on their feet. They might seem like a cat with 9 lives this year. They might be in the right place at the right time or have a lot of wisdom in their choices and decision making. So lots of blessings for partners here. Now for you, my beautiful Scorpio friends, business partnerships will be very beneficial and you can make money through collaboration this year. Jupiter represents where we can make money, and by transit here, it's through business partnerships or connections. Maybe you are running a small business and you decide this year I'm going to hire an advertiser. That's a business partnership, and that can bring you a lot of opportunities for success and growth of wealth. So think about your business, think about how you can collaborate with it to bring more success into your life, and go for it. This is the year when it's likely to happen. This is also a transit that can bring you more popularity, more happiness with your clients, more recognition with your audience and growth of your audience, expansion of your connection with the public. So Jupiter can do a lot of favors for you here through the 7th house, Scorpio. All right, Libra rising, Libra sun, Libra moon people. Joining me, the Libra moon people. I'm one of those. Well, oopsies. Jupiter is transiting through our 8th house. Libran lovelies. Now, wherever Jupiter goes is where he gives a lot of something. If you stand to inherit, this is a placement where Jupiter through the next year might bring you some great inheritance, or there might be a hidden source of money that comes to you. If you're in an industry or a job where you are raising funds for something, you've got, what are those platforms, crowdfunding platforms or something, you can do very well this year because of Jupiter moving here. It brings golden opportunities and opportunities that come out of a disaster or a crisis. So in that sense, if you go through a tough time, know that it can actually be for your good. If you go through a crisis, you can come out more, with a fatter wallet because of it. It might not look like it from the get-go, but in the end, Jupiter can build the benevolence. In fact, Jupiter is a future-oriented planet. So Jupiter might be building things here and setting things up now for you to inherit in the future or to have great success with some kind of resources of other people in the future. When bad things happen this year, rest assured something much better will emerge out of it because that's the nature of Jupiter in the 8th house. You might have a lot of secrets to keep this year, Librans. You might be asked to keep this person's secret and that person's secret. You might be asked to sort of hide some skeleton in the closet. Okay, that's up to you, your integrity, how you handle all that. It's also possible, Librans, that you might benefit financially through a partner this year. A business partner. If you're in a business partnership with someone, your finances might grow this year. If you're in a marriage or a committed relationship, you might benefit because of your spouse this year materially. You might, your spouse's money might grow and therefore you benefit from that. You receive opportunity from that. You become rich because of your spouse. So Librans, this is a transit where you stand, because you're having this transit, you stand to bless your partner. So what a gift to them. How lovely to be able to do that for someone you love. Now, often we can see the family of our spouse become quite wealthy under this transit as well for the next year. So your partner's family can start to flourish in some way. Miracles can happen with Jupiter moving through the 8th. Why is that? It's a house of trauma and illness, and Jupiter brings miracles to traumas, that you're going through. Sorry about that. Illnesses, critical situations. Jupiter, remember, is a protective planet. He keeps those, nasty, destructive comets and asteroids at bay, and that protects the Earth. And that's the energy of Jupiter in the 8th house. He protects you from trauma and illness, or he helps you recover quickly and well and benevolently from trauma and illness. And something is going wrong. Jupiter can bring you miraculous support. If you have no money to pay, then rest assured Jupiter can, by the skin of your teeth, get you the money that you need. If you are, in an accident or something, Jupiter will get the medical attention that you require to you really quickly, and the problem can be resolved. So don't fear if you're in a crisis situation. Jupiter has got your back this year, Librans. You can have an increase in knowledge of past life because Jupiter expands the knowledge of past lives, 8th house, expands the knowledge of astrology. Librans, if you've been wanting to study astrology with me at the Royal Stars Academy, this is the transit to go for it with. Jupiter will expand your astrological knowledge. Jupiter can expand your shamanic wisdom. Jupiter can expand any esoteric interests that you might have as well. You're probably going to get really interested in those things this year, and the understanding of those topics can come with a lot of ease and effortlessness. Jupiter is to be an inspiration and a guru, and you might be able to sort of coach other people through their troubles, be an advisor to other people in times of crisis, mentor people when they're going through big transformational situations. You can benefit from hidden treasures, and because this is the house of hidden treasures. So this is like this year you might we dream about these things happening where you go to the cupboard and put on a coat that you wore 10 years ago and you discover a $100 bill in the pocket. And you're like, whoa, that kind of lucky windfall is an 8th house thing, and Jupiter is the god of wealth. So for some of you, there might be some circumstance this year where you benefit from a hidden or buried treasure, Get out that old treasure map, pretend you're one of the Goonies and start going for it. How lovely, Libra. You're in for a fascinating and quite beneficial year because of this transit. Now, Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon people, the energy of Jupiter transiting through Taurus is going to impact you through the blessed 9th house. What a lovely place to have Jupiter transiting. This is a natural placement for Jupiter. It's like a double whammy of the 9th house influence. So there's going to be a lot of expansion in your life, a lot of growth in your life, a lot of abundance in your life. You might find that you have a very open mind this year, open to new beliefs, no judgment towards other belief systems, and you'll be quite interested in exploring other belief systems. You might feel a little bit more permissive in your moral beliefs this year as well, Virgo. You might even be able to tap into a belief in luck and the goodness of the universe. So this is a great time to work on your mental pathways and improve your mental pathways. If you've always had a glass half empty kind of approach and you realize that that's what you've got and you're like, damn it, I wish I could change that about myself. This is the year when Jupiter's going to give you a lot of support to change your belief patterns. So do the work, get into mindfulness, read spiritual books, get some mind coaching, that kind of thing. Can you hear the birds outside? They're all going for it. Maybe they're sending you blessings, Virgo. You are likely to be able to explore and understand in greater depth ideologies, philosophies, sacred studies. So great time for doing that. Also, this is a great placement if you want to study astrology. Come study with me. You can join up at any time at the Royal Stars Academy at any level. But Jupiter in the 9th house of higher learning says it's a great year to dig deep with something like that has meaning for you. You'll also be really good at sharing big concepts with others and finding the common pattern in them. Jupiter gives wisdom in that area, an ability to comprehend things on a large scale and see the big picture influence, which is great because usually Virgo is very small, detail focused. And so this is going to be a beautiful year for being able to go beyond that nitty gritty detail and see the forest for the trees, You might have easy access to foreign countries and travel this year. You might meet a lot of inspiring figures this year, get a lot of connections all over the world, experience a lot of luck. You have an ability to take different theories and ideas and see links, and therefore to be able to find new solutions. What a great energy this is. Jupiter is trining the ascendant by a forward trine, which is a very beneficial trine. It's pushing his energy forward to bless your body. So it can actually strengthen your health this year, Virgo. It can give you more vitality, and you can get lucky with your well-being and your physicality, even with difficult indicators in your chart. So what a blessing. And for anyone of you who's trying to have children, this can be a time, this transit for this year can be a time when you can actually give it a red hot crack and Jupiter can bless you. Jupiter can expand your ability to conceive because of this trining of the ascendant, the trining of the body, but also by a backwards trine, he's trining the house of children. So in that sense, if you've been wanting to try for kids, this is a great year to do so. Blessings can come to you from other countries with Jupiter transiting here, and other countries, foreign things, other cultures can create a lot of wealth for you. You might have a lot more creativity and original thought that can bring blessing to you. Just beware of the overblown enthusiasm of Jupiter in Taurus and overconfidence. Sometimes in the 9th house that can express as dogmatism or self-righteousness, okay? Because Jupiter's not in good dignity in Taurus. So just be careful because that's how it would express. You don't want to come across as belligerent about your beliefs. That's not what we want. But yes, lots of teachers, lots of gurus, lots of sources of inspiration for you, Virgo. Lots of blessing and opportunities for you, and wealth and luck that comes from Jupiter-based things such as travel, growing your knowledge. Another reason why it's a good idea to join the Royal Stars Academy. Growing your knowledge, travel, belief systems and philosophies, anything that expands your heart and soul and mind can be a source of wealth for you. Remember, Jupiter is a future-based planet, so he's also setting up for you things that will bless you in the future. That are ninth house based. So by studying and getting some sort of degree or doing some sort of higher learning like the Royal Stars Academy, if you do that this year, it's actually Jupiter bringing luck to the ninth house, is setting up your meaning, your purpose, and your ability to generate prosperity in the future. Thumbs up. Thanks, Virgo. Leo rising, Leo sun, Leo moon, people. Well, Taurus is your 10th house, my Leo friend. So that means Jupiter is taking his benevolence and his luck into 10th house realms. 10th house realms for you. And that means careers, that means professions, that means leadership. So if you work in Jupiterian-based careers, like if you're a teacher or a professor or a counselor or advisor or guru, you stand, like these are leadership positions that are Jupiterian. You stand to have a lot of expansion and growth in your field this year, a lot of increase. Jupiter, if you're not in any of those fields, Jupiter can give the impression to others of being a very knowledgeable person. So let's say you're a high school student and, you're going through this transit. Well, your teachers are going to see you as somebody who has got a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. Whether you do or not, it's almost immaterial. Jupiter will give this impression to the world this year about you. It's gonna, give off that aura. So, great. You get a good pass this year, my beautiful Leo friends. My son's that. Oh, that's lucky for him. How lovely. It's actually very important to have a good education as Jupiter transits the 10th house. He can give you a good education so that you can achieve well into the future with a career, because Jupiter is a future-oriented planet. So what he's giving you as he transits the 10th house is the ability to set up a good future career for yourself. So great for my son. He's getting a good education to set up in the future successful careers. So isn't that lovely if you have children who are doing high school or university? What a blessing that is. Jupiter is a planet of charity. You might be inspired in your business affairs or your career to be more charitable. Maybe you run a company or something and you're like, you know what? We need to set up a charity arm of our company or our business or whatever it is. And so you can actually set up some charity because you're feeling the pull towards bringing charity into the career that you do. You could also develop or move into a career that has more Jupiterian influence. Maybe you're traveling a lot for career. Maybe you're dealing with international affairs in your career in some way. Maybe you're being more benevolent through your career. And you can generate wealth through these Jupiterian things this year by taking your business to an international level. By being generous through your career in some way, you can actually generate more money for yourself. By bringing in more ethics or spirituality into your career, you can actually do very well as well. But you must aim high and you must think on a global scale in order to receive Jupiter's blessings in the house of career. Think beyond your immediate circle. If you're just dealing with your local town and the people in your local town, go bigger. Expand your boundaries. How can you deal with other people in your region? If you're a hairdresser and you are, just working through one salon, how can you expand that to actually own maybe 5 or 6 salons throughout the state? Think big. Jupiter in the house of career. If you think big, Jupiter can bring you big rewards. So go for it. Don't hold yourself back, guys. You are likely to be seen as a jovial person this year and be well liked because of Jupiter transit in the house of how the world perceives you. So that's good. Utilize that, leverage that for your advantage. If you're being well liked, if you're popular, well, it's the chance to expand, to grow, to be blessed, my beautiful Leos. Jupiter also shows the good we've done in past lifetimes. So during this transit through the 10th house, you might be rewarded through an upping of social status, an upping of success and a good reputation. So I'm really like, this is a blessing. What a gift. You can grow in popularity. You can develop a big following with Jupiter in the 10th house. And you can be very gainful through your career this year. Jupiter, well, rituals and ceremonies are always favored wherever Jupiter goes. And in the 10th house, you can use rituals or ceremonies to support your career at a personal level. Or, you know, I would even like just develop a ritual in your day that can help your career grow. You know, maybe your ritual is you get up every morning and greet the sun by doing a yoga salute to the sun, and then you eat some yellow foods first thing in the morning to honor the sun. Maybe that's your ritual. Well, if you do that, you might find this year that your career blossoms because you invoke a ritual with Jupiter and the god of career, which is the sun. The sun rules, generally speaking, our careers. So that's one example of how you can bring ritual or ceremony into your day that can bring benefit to career. So, wow, what a great year ahead for our lovely Leos. Oh, that includes me, I just remembered. Yay, I might start getting up to see the sun every morning. I would like that. I'm a bit too lazy, Pisces. I like to stay in bed after usually staying up too late at night. I'm a night owl. Cancer rising, Cancer sun, Cancer moon. Well, Jupiter's moving through your 11th house for the next year. Now, in Western astrology, this placement is considered, or this transit is considered to be the best place for Jupiter because it expands our profitability and our gainfulness. And we know that the West is very greedy for that sort of thing. But so it's considered to be a gift and a blessing. So you can actually make wealth from anything to do with Jupiter this year, my beautiful Cancer friends. Beliefs, kindness, charity, generosity, these things can bring you a great deal of prosperity this year and can grow your wealth. So stick to your morals, stick to your ethics, don't compromise them, because it's through those things Jupiter can bless and grow your abundance. This is the house of awards and recognition for the work you've done. So I'm very pleased to tell you, Cancer people, that you might finally get recognized for the hard work you've done this year. You might finally receive the financial reward. Maybe you've been writing books for years and you've got, a library under your belt of wonderful knowledge that you've shared with the world. Jupiter is publishing after all. Jupiter rules publishing. Jupiter rules higher-minded things. And if you've been writing, let's say, about higher-minded things for years, this is the year that you might actually have a great deal of reward and financial success with that particular endeavor. So get ready, hang on to your hat, Cancer. It could all be coming your way at long last. Now, this is also the house of being well-connected, of networking. If you're a well-connected person, then Jupiter can bring you blessing through those connections, through those networks that you've developed. You can also increase your networks this year. They can grow bigger, wider, and your networks can be more open-minded and inclusive without discrimination. Friendships can be more with intellectual people, intelligent people, or people from a broad, different cultural background. You'll have friendships develop this year that will be with people with a lot of depth and substance. No surface level people who just want to talk about the latest fashions and what the Kardashians are doing. You'll develop friendships with people who'll talk about deep issues, who'll talk about philosophies. What beautiful friendships, like Jupiter in the 11th house. So much fun, so much fun. This is the house of dreams and goals as well, and you will have positive, upbeat, optimistic expectations for your dreams and goals. And it's a case of as within, so without. You, because you believe in yourself and your success, you will achieve it. You believe in your dreams, you believe in your goals, you have great hope and optimism for your goals. You can achieve it. This year, Jupiter responds to the energy you carry within by manifesting it in profitability and gainfulness and success of dreams and goals without. And even if you don't see it instantly, Cancer, know that when Jupiter's a future-oriented planet, and what you establish now in this year while Jupiter's in the 11th house can bring you great reward going forward into the future. Maybe it might bring great reward going forward for the next 12 years until Jupiter's back in this place of the horoscope again. You have positive expectations while Jupiter transits here. And I must admit, you have to dream big. You can be very positive about achieving your goals and dreams. They can be achieved, but you must see glass half full. If you don't, then you miss out on the blessing. So if you've got a mindset that's poverty consciousness and critical and holding you back, get into some sort of process that allows you to change your mental narrative, your inner self-talk, so that you can achieve more and succeed more this year. Allow your expectations to expand, dream big, and you will meet your destiny. Now, a Vedic trine is sent from the 11th house to the 7th house in this case. So it can cause your partner to be very blessed, but it also can cause your partner to be a great blessing to you. Sometimes if you're somebody who's looking for marriage as well, if you're looking to marry someone, this can be a time when you get married, because Jupiter by trine aspects the 7th house of committed partnership. So you might commit to somebody this year if you're a single person. Jupiter is also trining the 3rd house by this aspect as well. And so it gives positive mental attitude and perspective towards life because of that as well. There's a really big ability to teach this year in some way, so you will have opportunities to teach. You will have opportunities to grow a big fan base. You might develop a very big following in some manner this year. You might enjoy an international following on the internet. Jupiter is international and other countries, and this is the house of the internet. You are likely to have a lot of blessing in those realms, a lot of growth, a lot of expansion in those realms, which is great if that's something that you have been longing for or looking for or working towards. There's also going to be a lot of international influence upon you in terms of gainfulness. So you can gain through being in other countries. You know, maybe you're hosting seminars in, I don't know, Australia or Indonesia or India or maybe Norway or somewhere. You can be hosting international events and generating a lot of prosperity. Jupiter is international and Jupiter is wealth in the house of prosperity and gainfulness. What a gorgeous combination. You lucky Cancer people. This is wonderful. A lot of you guys will also be looking at expanding your prosperity through getting a university degree this year. So you might be doing some sort of higher learning that's going to ultimately expand your prosperity and expand your abundance. So if you have an older sibling, this is the house of the older sibling as well. And you might, your older sibling might be being something of a benefactor to you. They might be bringing a lot of joy and expansion into your life this year too. Thank you, Cancer. You are so lucky. I'm so happy for you, Cancer. Gemini rising, Gemini sun, and Gemini moon, people. Thanks for sticking with me to the end, Gemini. You are having the transit for the next year of Jupiter moving through Taurus, your 12th house. So Jupiter here gives easy access to international travel. Having trouble getting my words out. Easy access to international travel and being able to explore faraway places simply for the pleasure of it, or well, with Jupiter here, it can expand your heart and soul and mind to do so as well. But maybe for spiritual journey, spiritual retreats, mystical experiences, you have easy access to doing those sorts of things. Staying in beautiful hotels, staying in beautiful resorts, exploring refined creativity, art, film, music comes easy this year. More opportunities for that sort of thing. So the universe gives you the chance to go to more galleries or go to more concerts, that sort of thing. Jupiter in the 12th might give you a more luxurious and attractive bedroom. When I had Jupiter transit my 12th house, I got given a king-size bed. And I had just, for years, I'd had this, I have to say this word, I had this shitty little double bed that was squeaky and old and was terrible. And Jupiter transited my 10th, and my girlfriend, whose mother went into her home, had this unused king-size bed. It was unused. And she said, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Yes, please." So literally, I love seeing how the universe works. Jupiter transiting The 12th house of bedrooms can expand your bedroom. I love my king size bed. But it can expand everything to do with the 12th house as well, and can make your bedroom more beautiful, which I did do once I had my beautiful king size bed. You can expand your international travel, as I said. It can expand your spiritual experience. It can expand your bed pleasures. For me, the pleasure was in having the king size bed, but there are other bed pleasures, as I'm sure you know. You might be experiencing a bit more of that this year too. Jupiter transiting the 12th house can give tremendous intuition, very vivid, lucid dreams. It can make you, not make you a channeler if your chart doesn't indicate you have that capacity, but Jupiter can give you more intuition that, allows you to channel. Oh, I'm scratching my third eye. Yes, a lot of you Gemini people are going to be able to be channelers this year, or connect with your spirit guides, or retrieve memories from the higher realms, or be an astral traveler. This comes easy this year if you want to experience that. You might have many opportunities for spiritual awakening this year. So this is a really great position. If your natal chart indicates you have capacity to be a psychic or an astrologer, Jupiter transiting this realm of the chart can really expand that ability in you this year. You can, really awaken deeper spiritually. The 12th house tells us what we did in previous lifetimes. So Jupiter transiting here might bring back memories or experiences connected to like Jupiterian things, like spreading wisdom as a priest or a priestess in a past lifetime, or being a wise person or a guru in a past lifetime. If you have done that in a past life, you might be able to tap into that ancient wisdom and that ancient experience in your karmic line, or your what's it called? Your reincarnational experience, your reincarnational line. There is Jupiter here can give you ability to be very forgiving, very non-judgmental, and all-embracing of everyone. No judgment, no discrimination, no boundaries. That's something to be perhaps careful of. It's lovely to accept everyone and to trust everyone and believe in everyone. Really lovely. But you can be taken for a ride. So forewarned, forearmed, Gemini, the boundaries expand, and so does the lack of discrimination. You might trust somebody and they might turn out to be the biggest dickhead you've ever met. So be forewarned, forearmed about that. Try and be as discerning as you can. But you will be very visionary. Your imagination is highly developed this year, or will develop a great deal this year. If you were to travel to foreign countries this year, you might be very successful or well treated. You might have a lot of joy. Jupiter is happiness and joy, so it's worth taking a foreign trip if you possibly can. I do believe that Jupiter was transiting my 12th house when I went to Bulgaria. So if I'm correct there. And that was one of the best experiences of my life, to go to the Astrolager conference in Bulgaria before the world went mad. Many opportunities might present themselves to have sexual relationships or sexual encounters this year, along with opportunities for secret relationship and affairs. It's up to you. Mind your karma, or, whatever. Leave it up to your own integrity about whether that's a good or a bad thing. Jupiter is our joy, and our sex life this year can be very joyful because bed pleasures are seen through the 12th house. So a joyful, uplifting, and delightful bedroom experience. My beautiful Gemini friends, you might be pleased to know whether you're in a relationship or you're looking for one. Jupiter is compassion and charitableness, and you are going to have 12th house is also those things too. So you might have a lot of compassion and be looking to help those in need. You've also got a lot of benevolent entities from the divine looking out for you and protecting you this year. Your ancestors, deceased relatives and friends and lovers and what have you, angels and spirit guides are protecting you. You have many angels around you this year. So Gemini, revel in that energy, delight in that energy, knowing that you are held by other dimensions this year as Jupiter moves through your 12th house. So my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this look at what Jupiter is going to bring you for the next year as he moves through Taurus. I'll have another astro weather report for you next week. Until then, be very blessed.